Hi, everybody. Welcome to Occultists Anonymous, our little corner of geekdom on the internet. Thank you very much for joining us. For the Twitch folks, thanks to your patience while we sorted out some technical issues with Roll20. For the YouTube folks, hi. Everything's fine. Everything's normal.
Be a slightly shorter episode.
Slightly shorter episode.
That's how it goes. No big deal.
Okay, we don't have a fucking ship.
We are, as always, sponsored by Roll20 and viewers like you, specifically Riafio, Parker, Angfalith, Taryn, Thomas, Daniel, Toast, Tridimensional Camo, Shaxara, Chris, Neomegas, Woodfoot, George, Crazy Man 1772, Adele, Vortex, Milo V3, Funzo, Zoltan, Jack Rayner, Blood Angel, Jenny, Deloria, Julian, nice to meld you. I'm not sure what that means.
Vulcan
Probably a Vulcan reference, right? Yusa Sama,
absolutely.
Alan Michael, Bernie, The Arcane, Other Michael, Doc the Doomed, Melissa, Moku, Emil, Cinna, Puppeteer, Alexander, Josh, Catfeathers, Brandon, Michael, Perry, Noba, Thomas, and Ryan. Thank you very much for your support. The money that you contribute through Patreon goes to pay for awesome artwork and hardware refreshes and things of that nature. So thank you very much for that. Okay, the recap. When we last left our story, the crew had just arrived at the Temple of the Builders, chasing one of the prophets of the locals that the captain, the evil Captain Gupak, has abducted with several of his warriors. Shortly after arriving at the Temple of the Builders and doing some initial investigations, they received a call from Wing Commander, I know her name.
Lavigne.
Yeah, Lavigne.
Lavigne.
Saying that the Curie was gone. The light cruiser that they had been engaged in a Klingon saber dance with made a run for the planet with the intent to open fire on the populace as a way to draw the Curie out, and the Curie went to intercept to try and save folks, and that's when the warbird decloaked and opened fire and caused a core breach. No escape pods were recorded by the Wing Commander as having made it out. It looks like the ship has been lost with all hands on board, which means the captain's crew is now significantly reduced.
Did we get clarification if the shuttles managed to take down the warbird?
No, they did not manage to take down the warbird. They got some hits in.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's damaged, but it did manage to cloak again. So it's still a factor in the field. But after getting that report, the captain ordered the fighter pilots to meet you guys at the Temple of the Builders.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that's where we left off. So there's the four of you and Maya standing outside the Temple of the Builders, and you're still outside the energy shield, or the energy field, that I believe you had suspect had some sort of a temporal thing going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had our red shift in our messages.
Based on a 5 difficulty sensor science reason roll.
Oh, yeah.
And we had and we do have a friendly Klingon with us, I believe, right?
Yes.
He wants to take down the captain. He's not our friend.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know.
We have a temporary ally.
We have an. Yeah.
Yes.
Uncomfortable ally.
Well, I would phrase it more that your goals align for the time being.
Yeah, he's also somebody we beat up a bunch of times, so no big deal there.
Yes, there is that. But that's just how Klingons say hello or
the captain
start a
impressed
courtship.
him. So
All right, fair enough. Well, then the captain, you'd say that this is someone the captain has seduced.
There's a little bit more to it than that. The other person has to read poetry.
Yeah, they got to read poetry while you beat them up.
While being beaten up.
Oh yeah, dude. Klingon mating rituals.
That's canon.
I still love when Dwarf is telling that to Wesley.
I thought y'all were memeing.
No.
Nope.
The men read poetry while the women beat them up.
Klingons are right up Chris's alley. Like,
Yeah.
So
That's
where do you
right.
guys want to start?
I think
we had talked about So as you guys are waiting for the shuttle pilots to reach you, how about we do a fade, and the camera opens up on the captain in his ready room.
3 weeks ago.
Yep, several weeks ago.
Sounds good.
The door chime sounds.
Enter.
And in walks your yeoman, who has several reports, places down in front of you. And this is sort of a ritual that's kind of developed. Your yeoman has strong opinions about pretty much everything that he interacts with you about, and is not shy about voicing those opinions. And I don't know how much your captain is aware of your character is aware of the Tellarite social.
Oh, okay.
Right. So this is just the way Tellarites have fun.
Yeah.
They don't go to big sporting events. They go to big debates and that kind of stuff. So he often takes a position opposite to whatever you express. So if you say you like eggs, he'll be like, eggs suck and only the weak eat them, or something like that. Just to try and bait you into having an argument. So you've had a few of these.
Fair enough. Captain Chichalor is in good command of and has high presence, so he's extremely skilled at maintaining his sense of cool. And he's also he was raised in Andoria, right? So he's well aware of passionate engagement with people and how you can't rise to it all the time. And he's already had an engagement with the yeoman when he first got on the ship that, all right, you're going to act like this as long as you don't breach decorum and the chain of command, then I'm not going to have a problem with you exhibiting your culture.
And that was the sort of the boundary that was set between you and him is when you're in public, he's the dutiful yeoman, but you can tear a strip off of each other behind closed doors anytime he feels like it.
That's right, Tellarite. Go be yourself.
That's right. He's looking a little uncomfortable as he walks in. And Captain, I would like to ask for an intercession.
Oh. And then, so Captain Chichalor, adjusts himself more because he thought it was going to be a standard informal banter with him. He says, I'm prepared to hear it, yeoman.
Dr. Hudson wants to... I am one of the crew that didn't have an exam record on file, and Dr. Hudson is seeking to update the records. And I have no issue with that, but I would request that my records not leave the ship. Not to be transferred back to Starfleet, and definitely not back to Tellar.
Is there a reason you can share with me that won't require you to disclose the information that you want to keep private?
There's nothing wrong, nothing illegal, nothing dangerous. I don't have any illnesses. There's some cultural issues that I'm dealing with that would make things difficult if those records went back to Tellar.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll just give you first my empathy that it's very challenging to negotiate a rigid or traditional culture wherein you might possess, exhibit, or perform a number of traits people don't expect or don't recognize. So I'm quite willing to protect your privacy because you protected the integrity of my crew up until this point, and we're all a family, as I've told you before. So the reason why I asked that question is Dr. Hudson has a very explicit commitment that I cannot countermand, which is he is entitled to know all information about the crew that could influence his ability to keep the crew alive and safe. And he is extremely committed to that personally and professionally. So, without intruding on the privacy of anyone else, I'll say that I have reason to believe that he might be willing to give you an exception, provided that you explain yourself to him the same way he's explained it to me, and assume that he is willing to listen and be empathetic, despite his apparent bedside manner.
I see. I'll attempt to approach the doctor directly then.
Please do. And if you encounter any challenges, feel free to come back to me.
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
That was,
Captain Chichilor said trans rights.
Yeah, that was me like trying to say it in 60s vernacular.
60s words.
Yeah.
How could you affirm?
First, let me give you my
Damn
empathy.
right.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Perfect. I'll make sure we do that. I appreciate your empathy on this matter, Captain.
Absolutely.
Then salutes and by your leave.
Oh, salute to you, man.
And
Wonderful.
departs from your ready room.
Fantastic.
So let's skip ahead like a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And Commander Kitneal, you're standing outside the captain's ready room, and you're hearing raised voices. Like somebody on the inside is having a full-throated argument. And your instinct is that this like might actually come to blows. But then just as you're considering like, okay, how do I do this? Because somebody's in with the captain, the door's closed, the door opens, like everything's silent, and the door opens and you see the yeoman there. Oh, Commander.
Yeoman.
And he looks pleased, like happy, almost like he's just energetic. Excuse me, and moves aside.
1 moment, yeoman.
Certainly.
Just stand ready. Captain, do you have any tasks that the yeoman is currently involved in?
Not at the moment. The yeoman has my leave to continue the rest of his duties.
Okay, very good. Yeoman, let me introduce you to a toothbrush and the latrines.
Is this an earshot of the captain?
Yes, and notably with a wink to the captain.
Oh, all right. Well, then the captain was about to intervene, but we'll withhold.
I don't understand, sir.
Well, I mean, you were arguing loud enough that I could hear, arguing with the captain. And I believe I've made my stance on that kind of thing very, very clear, yeoman.
And you see, yeoman looks over to the captain and just like look on his face. Oh, that was just for recreation, sir.
Actually, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to double check.
Back, like,
I'm going to have to double check with Ralph because I'm pretty sure before this, the commander probably would have gotten a conversation with the captain about like, oh yeah, I'm good with the Tellarite. I get where they're coming from. Okay, good.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. Well, now you will enjoy some recreational manual labor, yeoman.
and he's trying to get a read on you. Because you are pushing all of his buttons.
Oh, sure.
I think that's intentional.
Insight and security, I guess. Did you want to try and deceive him?
I absolutely do.
Okay. So call that insight security? Unless you want to pitch me something else, or presence?
Oh yeah, it's presence, I think.
Okay.
Because this is Kitneal in full like command mode, facing the yeoman, but like behind, over the shoulder kind of thing towards the captain. It's like, no, I'm just getting on the Tellarite.
With a complication.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Let's roll again because
okay.
we got a tie. Or no, I'll leave it like that. He doesn't really know what you're trying to do.
And that's fine. And this could end up being like a joke that falls flat for the commander, which is also a very good bit of drama. I guess he's trying to get a read on the commander.
Yeah, and isn't really able to. So, Yeoman Narkek says, "You're the commander."
Okay. Thank you, Captain. I'll borrow the yeomen if you need them. They'll be in the officer's washroom. And
I understand.
Escort the Tellarite over there. And basically, just unless you want, basically, there will be a quiet conversation as we walk to the washroom of like, hey, I get it, bud. But other people can't know how you're behaving with the captain. If I can hear it outside the door, you're too loud. You gotta tone it back just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during the course of the conversation, as you guys are walking towards the officer's mess. Oh, that was a good one, Commander.
Mm-hmm.
You really had me going there.
Yeah. Then Commander Kidneal hands him a toothbrush and walks away.
No problem. Excellent.
Yeah, and it's very one of those like. Commander's not using manual labor as punishment. It's just saying, I'm going to leave you here with this, and I'm going to let you think over what I actually want you to do, and I'm going to walk away.
Well, yeah.
It's time for corporal punishment. Corporal punishment, could you come in, please?
Yes. All right. And we didn't talk before you came on, Ash. Did you want to get any scenes in as a flashback, sort of, before we pick up?
Not that I can think of, really.
Okay, that's fine. So do a dissolve wipe, and we open back up on the crew in front of the Temple of the Builders. You hear the roar of engines as the 3 shuttles come and land. 3 fighters come and land in a flat area near where you guys are. And in a couple of minutes, you've got 2 fighter pilots and your wing commander standing there before you. Mm-hmm. They look pretty rough.
Yeah. I turn to Dr. Hudson and I'll say, Dr. Hudson, if there's anything in your bag that can help them immediately, I think they deserve it. Thank you. And then he approaches Wing Commander Lavigne.
Sir.
And opens his arms up for a hug.
She kind of glances aside for a moment, but then just runs forward and like chest bump into you and arms around you and has a good like regulation 20-second cry. Yeah. And then pulls back and straightens up her shirt and wipes her eyes. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
What's our mission now?
Our mission now is to continue doing what we can to rescue the prophet that was abducted and take care of these people.
All right. And I'm guessing the prophet's in there. It points to the door.
They are.
All right. She turns to the 2 other pilots that are looking a little bit stunned and say, all right, straighten up, flight suits off, get your phasers out. We're doing ground support. And they're like, yes, Commander, and get their gear all stowed, and they've got Type 1 phasers.
All right.
As part of their kit. Okay, what's the plan?
Regrettably, soldiers, I do not offer hugs as part of my treatment plan.
Yep.
The plan is we're going into hostile and uncertain territory. Keep your wits about you. Make sure that you mind your wing. And don't let anything slip. And then Commander Chichalor turns to Wing Commander Lavigne and the fighter pilots and says, you've all been through a lot more than we have recently. So we got your back because you just had ours.
Understood. We're ready, sir. Full serve.
All right. And Captain Chichalor turns to Commander Kitniel and says, "Shall we?"
I believe at this point, Captain, I am no longer the mission lead at this time, sir. It's on your call.
All right. We shall. And then pulls up his phaser and enters the field.
All right. So you enter into the energy field, and there's a very disorienting sort of feeling as you're passing through. It's sort of a vertigo / nausea all at once. But it's only during the transition. You're like really dizzy from when it takes a sec for you to orient yourself. Can I get what am I looking for? Composure?
Isn't that present?
Or control?
Or control.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking for. So, fitness or control, and command or security.
Cool.
Some combination of those.
All right. Sounds good.
Unless you want to pitch me on something else.
And what is this related to in terms of, because I'm trying to figure out focus, whether or not it would apply.
So composure would apply, or if you've got resistance to adverse environmental effects or that kind of stuff.
How about risky maneuvers or unexpected challenges?
Unexpected challenges, I'd buy that.
Dr. Hudson.
Cool.
Dr. Hudson got this.
Glad you do.
This command. All right, we gotta focus.
Bitten this command into the scene.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Captain got it.
Ooh, yeah. We got momentum?
Yep. It's a difficulty 1.
Okay. So let's stack
So
4 momentum.
4 momentum?
We're now at 5. Unless we lost one from scene change and session change.
And I'm rolling for your pilots.
Cool.
Command officer.
Ooh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeez. Everyone doing well.
So you guys all make it through except for Commander Nurjad.
Didn't make it through.
Make it through?
Yeah.
No,
you're able to deal with the sudden disorientation and vertigo and the nausea without any long-term effects. Commander Nurjad, I'm going to get you to mark off 3 stress for me.
Ooh, wow.
It was a difficult transition. I want to say, and you can color this however you want, but you sort of lost your nerve and kind of half backed out, but then tried, no, I really need to go through, and ended up staying in there a little bit longer than was probably healthy. So you come through and you've got some longer term disorientation and you're feeling a little bit queasy. But no complications, so your symbiote is fine. And you guys find yourselves in a very clean, very sleek corridor.
All right.
Dr. Hudson would lean over and just very quietly, very politely whisper to the captain that, Captain, I know that everyone's feelings are on edge. Reminder that I will brook no heroic sacrifices amongst the crew that I am a part of.
Captain Chichalor manifests a slow-growing smile and says, "You got it, Doctor."
You're welcome to try.
In that regard, you're in charge.
So this appears to be like a central corridor. You can tell from like the outskirts of the sort of the pyramidal kind of structure that you're in, that this would be like a central corridor running down the middle of the structure. You can see quite a ways. There's a few doors that are branching off, and there's one large set of double doors at the end of this corridor that's quite some distance away. would be long range in game turns, but it's like 80 meters or so.
Okay. So once we get there and we start looking around, Captain Chichlor says, "All right, everyone, tricorders out."
Okay.
Lieutenant Zekelman, any insights when you have them at your leisure?
I guess I'm just going to start. I just want to see what readings I can get from
Scan all the
here.
things.
Yeah, I'm just going to
Scan
scan.
all the things. If you gave me some sort of a focus of what you're looking for first, that would help me. We can do just a general scan, and I can give you some of the general stuff that you're looking for, but a focus might let me give you more information for free.
Well, immediately I want to find the captain and the prophet because I want to guarantee that they're okay.
Okay.
Like, figure out what's up here is something I'm very interested in. Just
Sure.
like in general, anything I can pick up, but I'm looking for them.
So that would be not reason science.
What am I rolling?
Control science, I think.
Okay.
Because you're using a tricorder to try and track them down.
Mm-hmm. Does xenobiology and geology apply?
Sure. I'll give you xenobiology because you're looking for a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And you did that before.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Success.
Oh,
yeah. So the first thing you notice is that your scans only cover out to the barrier of the energy barrier.
Mm-hmm.
You're not able to get anything past that. But you are able to cover the entire facility.
Ooh.
You pick up a few energy signatures, but there's a big one beyond the double door that's ahead of you 80 meters. You detect some life signs also past that door. It looks like that's where the captain, his warriors, and the prophet are on the other side of that large double door.
Can I tell anything? Like, can I spend one of the momentums to get information?
You may spend for obtain information, sure. 1 momentum per question.
How old is this place? Can I get like a date on it? Or did we already have that?
No.
Because we couldn't scan past everything.
Yeah.
So the date you're reading on this, and like it doesn't even make sense. It's hard to process, but you're reading something that's about 200,000 years old.
Does that line up with what we know of the civilization?
It's not. It's within the error bars.
Okay.
So this would have been built towards the end of their empire.
Okay, well, there and there. If we want to barge in, we could just go through the doors, or we could try to find another way in.
Captain, I think that's a bit of a bold action. I don't know if that's something we necessarily want to do. Damn it, I was going to beat him to it.
I think you know my bias, Commander.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to avoid risking the lives of those of us with us. So let's look for another route first. And then in the event that we need to crash down the front doors, we shall. Phasers in hand.
Lieutenant Zuckerman might need to confirm my math here, but by my count, we have at least 4 Klingons that we're going to be dealing with, because we have the captain, the 3 he took with him, and then whoever was here working the transporter through the barrier.
Mm-hmm. Must be a builder device.
Well, no, they had a mobile transporter pad outside the energy barrier.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, there would have been at least one person here running it.
Right. Because from what I can see, we can't get out there from in here.
Lieutenant, were you able to tell how many life signs were past the double doors?
Did I see that?
Yeah, I'll give you that. There were 6 life signs past the double doors.
Great. So, including the prophet, means that there are 5 Klingons.
Unless the builders themselves are here, sir.
Good point. Still present. That would be intriguing, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
First contact with a civilization from the past. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commander.
Question for Craig. Maya came in with us?
Yes.
Okay, because I knew we had that conversation about her, being...
Yeah, I was about to ask about a sort of Maya chill level check.
She is like a bundle of energy. She's heard about this place her whole life.
Mhm.
And she's heard that it's this wondrous place. And she's just like, there's a little blinky light on the wall. And she's like fixated on it. And then her attention gets drawn by like a floor panel that appears to have some sort of energy current running through it. And then the lights. And like she's just trying to take everything in all at once.
Overstimulated cat.
She's definitely not very chill. Yeah,
That's
she's a
pretty
cat
funny.
with like 8 or 9 laser beams.
The Christmas lights in her eyes.
Yeah.
Disco
That's the
ball.
one.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
Bam. Do you want to try to sneak around? Because I guess I'm assuming you can
Yes.
keep my scan up to try to see like if they're dispersing or if they have killed the prophet. I don't think they would, because I think they're still useful to them.
Yes. I
But
think
like while we're slipping around, I want to try to keep beads on all the pings I have on my recording.
Sure.
that's
Actually,
smart.
If you're good with it, that may be something we offload to one of the pilots.
Keeping track of things.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping a track, that's probably going to need a science officer, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because she's got to adjust and
Sure.
modify and stuff. Like she's actively tracking. It's not, she can just set it and forget it.
So while we're looking for different access routes, the captain turns to Wing Commander Lavigne and says, if we have another way to get in that room, we might want to try a pincer movement. I'm assuming you're all ready for that.
Absolutely.
Great.
No, it's hard to get layout of the corridors just because of the material that the walls and stuff are made from. You're not getting strong signals. So Lavigne can try and like pick her way around and see if she can find another way in.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that.
Right, so she'll take the 2 pilots with her. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She's not going alone.
So she goes to a door. The first door doesn't open, but the second door does.
Okay,
And leads to another corridor, and she heads down there with her 2 guys.
great.
Going to
And I want to see if we can stay in communication while people are moving.
So they're
If they
going to the
work.
right off the main corridor.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to confirm as she's moving. I'm just confirming that our communicators work. So,
Sure. Yep.
of course,
Yeah,
the
the
captain will
communicators
pull
work
his up.
within the boundary of the
Mhm.
energy barrier. No problem.
Excellent.
Alpha's props.
Yep.
That's for you, Noctal. You asked for it.
So the first door didn't open. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it appears to not have power. But the second door, she hits a button and it beeps, and the door is just sort of like really almost instantly fly out of the way. Sort of scissor open, and she and her crew head through.
Yeah, I'm debating whether or not the commander would say this, but yes, Captain, if this door
Yes.
doesn't have power, and we can assume did not have power, it is possible that this is a route that the Klingons are unaware of. There may be useful information behind here. For all we know, this door has been closed by the builders. I think this may be worth investigating, at least for a moment, before we get too separated from the Wing Commander.
All right, good point.
Do you
So the captain opens up his communicator and says, Wing Commander, we want to investigate a door that you moved past. So
Okay.
please don't go too far
Yeah, we'll hold up.
until... Great.
do you want me to see if I
So,
can crack it?
Go right
Sure.
ahead.
I'm going to call that a control security.
Yeah. Security or engineering?
Oh, hang on. If it's
Um,
control security, let me in
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Let me in
Yeah, I
here,
was
champ.
thinking engineering to try to
Let me in,
like
boss.
mess with the controls or whatever to make it open. But if we're trying to brute force it, then that works too.
Mm-hmm.
or bypass whatever the locking mechanism is, release a manual control, that kind of thing. So I would call that a control security. If you want to take that approach, you can try and it would be like an engineering thing if you wanted to try and get it powered.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That was my thing. But if Commander wants to break it.
I am very good at control security, and I'm not necessarily trying to break it so much as, work through the mechanisms. But yes, I was assuming that the lieutenant might help me.
I can assist you,
and
then you can do the roll.
That sounds good. I'm going
to do the engineering to try to see if I can
get it a little bit of juice.
Yeah,
sure.
So help it start sliding.
I'll be quite amused if there's a bypass panel, just like in every Federation ship.
Yep.
And then a big handle.
Yank.
Control engineering.
Magnet
I'm rolling
you put
one
on the
die.
door.
One die.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't get anything to it.
And I'm going to confirm, Craig, but I'm pretty sure none of my focuses apply. I don't think this would count as, say, shipboard tactical systems or cultural studies. No, okay. I just figured. I am going to spend a momentum to get an additional die.
Yeah, go ahead. So we're down to 5.
Oh, yeah, down to 5. There we go. Ba-doop. I'll take 3.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. And you can take that one momentum back.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
So you do manage to find a mechanical mechanism behind a panel to the left of the door panel. And you release it, and one half of the door just kind of moves a little bit, and you're able to manhandle it back into the wall, and it clicks into place. So the door is half open now.
Yes, I trill handle it. Yes.
Yes. Sure, trill handle it. You're looking what at first glance appears to be an office, but if you want to give me a insight or reason science roll, you can try and get more information out of it.
So the commander holds the door open for the lieutenant.
Will the history focus apply?
Sure.
Okay. Because I'm imagining it's an office from an ancient civilization, right?
If I squint at it just right, it could be a history thing, sure.
What?
All right. So when you were in Starfleet, you were moving into, back in the Academy days, you're moving into a new dorm. And as you're looking at this room, this looks like a new space that has been prepared. It has everything somebody would need to do stuff here, but it's completely untouched.
Mm-hmm.
So
like a model office.
Not necessarily a model, but when they're done all the building and they've got everything ready for the students to move in, the first person that moves into a room, it looks like it's just been set up for a new person to arrive for the first time, sort of thing. That's sort of the vibe you have from it. Yeah. So it looks like a functional office. There's a computer. There's an oddly shaped sort of wall display unit. And the computer itself looks odd. But you, just based on its position, you would assume that that's sort of a computer or some sort of a data display on the desk. And the wall display is probably another sort of data display or some kind of video thing.
And power is all off in here?
The power is all off in here.
I would really like to turn this on. But we are also trying to save a prophet's life.
Yeah, we're on the clock.
I feel like we have time to explore and play with the tech once the Klingons are gone.
Yep.
And there's a couple pieces of furniture that might pass for chairs or a love seat or something fairly large.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, this is probably our first real idea of scale of the builders.
And you can see there's sort of a recessed kind of panel in the wall that looks like it might be a locker or something, or a storage cabinet.
Do we have an idea, considering size of desks, chairs, and stuff like that? How large the builders are?
I would give a guess at somewhere around, somewhere north of 7 feet.
Okay.
The captain looks in and says, and asks, Lieutenant Commander,
Hmm?
you think there's any equipment here that can help us get back to Prophet?
Most.
Maybe we can check the lockers. Just
If it won't take long.
Yeah.
I'd suggest that.
do a quick looking through the lockers and the desks to see if there's anything useful.
So the desk is odd. There's some sort of a panel that has sort of an emitter above it to one side of the desk, but there's like no drawers or anything. It's just a flat sort of ovoid kind of surface with a chair next to it. The cabinet, however, as you're having a look at it, that would be a control security to pop the cabinet open. It appears to be like a powered door of some kind, but there's no power in the room.
Please.
I'm just going to step aside.
Yep. And while Kidneal has no particular focus on this kind of stuff, this is his jam.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Oh, no. Sorry, OBS is in the way.
You spin a momentum and you got it back.
Oh, hey, sure. Well, we don't know what the difficulty was.
Or you can, no, the difficulty was 2.
Okay.
So you got the momentum back. Or you can spend on obtain information. If you have a question you want to ask about the locker.
Actually, let's figure out the initial stuff, and then if there's a question afterwards.
Sure. So you open it up, and it looks like a storage locker. It's about 4 feet high, but it's like 4 feet off the ground. So like you're reaching up to get the doors open and stuff. The stuff they built from somebody with a taller point of view. There's a series of shelves in there, and there's like objects on the shelves. And at first glance, it looks like how you would set up like a tool locker. So it looks like devices are like evenly spaced and set aside, and there seems to be some sort of a pattern to it, but you don't really know what any of the devices do, so you can't really get any frame of reference.
Okay, well, I am going to spend one of those, spend one momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of them look like a key or pass card, or, there's always that inevitable, key card thing somebody uses, unless these guys are, purely, genetic based, and that's how you get through everything, but hopefully not.
All right. Would you roll a d20 for me?
Oh, yeah.
It's not
interesting,
ominous or anything.
It's the name of the game.
It looks like a pass card, but it's actually a bomb.
It's a mimic, Chris.
Yeah.
18, which normally I would be like, yeah, then I remember that we're playing Star Trek.
This feels like a table roll, so.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there is, you notice that next to the door, there was sort of a receptacle at a roughly spherical shape, and you see that there's a small sphere on one of the shelves. You're not sure if it's an exact fit, but it looks like it's pretty close.
Ooh.
Yep.
Neat.
Plan a hunch, Captain. Grab sphere.
I trust your hunches, Commander.
Give me a fitness and security roll, please.
Yes.
Was it just super heavy?
No, he picks it up, and just before he contacts it, it sort of leaps up into his hand, and you guys detect an energy discharge.
Okay.
I'm spend a momentum here.
Yeah, roll 3. Makes sense. We're down to 4.
Okay.
What was the difficulty?
1.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. So we get one
So
back.
you can obtain information if you like.
Sure.
Oh, that's a good idea. Do you want to do that?
Well, I usually wait until I figure out what the hell has happened first.
Makes sense.
So it's like you can hear 1,000 voices having a conversation with you, all at once.
Oh, please. Whatever.
Telling the drill.
No, but
That's
usually
great.
it's with you. It's like one and then another, and they have an argument or whatever. Like,
Right.
There's actual back and this is just like there's 1,000 people conducting a university lecture all at the same time, and you're somehow sitting in every classroom.
Ooh.
So
Cool.
that's what you've got.
And the fitness security is I don't spontaneously like.
This was your resistance to the energy discharge as it unloaded its payload.
Sure. Cool. All right. I know this. Well, I'll just ask. Can I understand them?
If you concentrate, you may be able to to pick out a voice.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's just a gibberish of language-sounding noise.
It's okay, guys. I got this. So, there was a time when the Kitneal symbiont studied xenolinguistics.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm gonna
A
take that.
previous Kitneal.
Yeah, because I'm sure. What do I need to roll? Because this might be rough. To try and narrow that stuff down. Maybe control command to have that like composure to just well, because command of self is kind of what I was thinking of, but
That's presence.
Yeah.
Presence.
oh yeah, presence plus command is fine too.
Yeah, presence plus command could work.
Okay, and applying my xenolinguistics focus
Sure.
and spending a momentum.
Okay, so we're down to 4.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
What was
So the difficulty was 3.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Very
it worked
good,
out
though.
well. You may ask unrestricted 1 question, and I will give you an answer. This is an unrestricted question.
oh man. About anything.
I'm going to give you 20 seconds to come up with
Can
one.
we give hints?
Oh yeah, fire away.
Or
Oh, jeez.
Question is, Craig, do you know what time it is?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I mean, Kidney might immediately think about how to activate a system that would subdue the captain and protect the prophets and keep us safe.
That's actually kind of where it
is
was
there a way
going.
to get our
17.
shit back?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
Getting our ship back. Yeah, that's true.
19.
Yeah. No. My the question is basically because it's Kitneal and he's the XO and he's the security guy. I
Yep.
want to figure out how to command air quotes this facility where
All right. So you focus in on sort of one voice, and it appears to be sort of a orientation to the facility. Now you don't understand the language,
Mm-hmm.
like the audible stuff that you're hearing in your head. You don't understand, but somehow the meaning is still getting into your brain. And it tells you that all of the systems, including the security, are all controlled from the central control center. And there's a panel on the central control center that does things like controls all the doors, controls main power, defensive systems, shields, and all that kind of stuff. So it's all run from one control center.
Cool. And in the process of that orientation, do I figure out where that control center is?
You know exactly where it is. And there's a few different panels, and you know that they all do different things.
Cool.
So there's like an energy panel, and there's a defensive systems panel, and there's a security panel. It's roughly they would correspond to bridge stations, right? So
Cool. Does the thing just like die in my hands, or?
And so you see Kitneal kind of holds it, and it's just like for about 2 seconds, and then the energy fades, and the ball is now inert in your hand.
Oh, wow.
Can you put it in the slot in the wall?
Definitely going to try that. But I was trying to come up with a good Captain I Know Kung Fu comment, but it's just not coming up. So, yeah.
I know builder speech.
Yeah. I think at this point it's go and see if there's any interaction with the ball with the receptacle to see if anything actually activates.
The ball is a good fit with the receptacle. And just a note, the receptacles are the inside of the chamber. There isn't one on the outside. So it's a good fit. It seems like a solid match, but there's no interaction with the receptacle when you put it in.
Sure. And some of that may be power, but okay. But yeah, as walking over there, kind of like just immediately, oh, let's try this, and explaining, Captain, I think I just got a very, very, very short expedited crash course in builder everything. I didn't pick up much. Sorry, terrible student. But I think I have an idea of at least how to control the facility vaguely.
Captain Chichalor's eyebrows raise up, then they lower, and he smiles. And as the camera like zooms in on the two of them, he puts a hand on Commander Kitneel's shoulder and says, "You did say you were well informed."
I try, sir.
And then you become aware of a presence uncomfortably close to you. And Maya's looking up at you with these big eyes, and she says, "Really?"
We'll talk Maya.
And I think that's probably a good spot to take our break for tonight.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope everybody's having a good time. Sorry for the late start. We had some Roll20 issues. So thank you very much for joining us, and appreciate your patience. You are more than welcome to join us on Discord. It's an awesome community. I love them so much at yeetinto.space. If you feel so inclined, we invite you to support us on Patreon. That's at staylucky.club. Never going to get used to that. The funds that we raise there go to paying for artwork and hardware refreshes and that kind of stuff. So thanks, everybody. And Twitch folks, we'll see you after the break. YouTube folks, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Join us next time for more bold action.